Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the best everything for December 2020. In this list, it's basically my equivalent to a top 10, top characters, whatever. I just like to compile it just because, the best arena team might not necessarily have the best characters in game on it, similar to the best raid team and all that stuff. But I just want to put all these teams out there for you, and it's different than what other content creators tend to do. But basically, to start off this list, we have our best faction team. Our best faction team in game is Black Order. Most people know the power of Black Order. I'm not really going to go too in depth about it. Just most people know the stomping power. You probably maybe faced them in Blitz or maybe have avidly avoided them in Blitz. But they are the best faction team. Though they might be on war defense, or someone might be using them on war offense to crush a war defense. But, most people know that they're great. So we're going to move on to next. Here's our Black Order counter, our best faction counter. I have a video that came out mid-November of a similar team to this. It did not have Mr. Sinister, but had Invisible Woman on that team, and that team was able to counter Black Order in Arena. I will say this is your arena counter in war. You want to use someone like Sinister 6 or a slight punch down, just depending on whatever team. But I actually have found that since last month in doing that video that Mr. Sinister, I actually like him better on this team than Invisible Woman. It allows me to do slightly higher punch-ups, and it's a more it's a less stressful match. It tends to go my way more often, so I tend to like this team. I've also heard that you can plug in Yo-Yo for where Mr. Sinister is, or Invisible Woman, like I said earlier. Yo-Yo will apply energy ability to Black Bolt and offense down to the opposing team, which is nice. I do tend to have a lot of offense downs though against, or not offense downs. I do tend to be able to recover from their offense downs with this team though. Next up, our best arena team. Technically, I will say this is probably not your best arena team in game, but this is the not most accessible, but so far the only accessible team. I would say your best arena team in game probably has Dr. Doom on it somewhere, but since no one has unlocked him yet, I'm not going to include him. I probably won't include him for a while until maybe other content creators get him, just because other content creators are whales, but not as much as the first people who get Dr. Doom. So I'll probably keep him off the list for a little bit. But yeah, this is your best arena team. I think, like I said, most people know the power of Black Order. They tend to get, through matches easily. And for those that don't have, access to Coal Obsidian, or you're still trying to farm, get your Asgardian so you can get Black Bolt, so then you can get the Inhumans for Ebony Maw. Basically, if you don't have access to any one of these characters, this is probably your second best arena team. Again, most people probably have access to Black Order, but this is your best, non-faction specific team, the way that Black Order was. This team kind of works similar. Emma Frost, most people know her power, but she gets rid of buffs, gets rid of debuffs, and also will blind the opposing team. Black Bolt does a ton of damage and punishes anybody who summons. Mr. Sinister's there to clone it like a Phoenix or so. Phoenix, a lot of people know Phoenix's strength. And then Ebony Maw is there to shut down the opposing team's Phoenix. A lot of people know these specific characters, but yeah, if you don't have access to Black Order or anyone from Black Order, this is probably the best way you want to go, and it will carry you somewhat. I will say this Black Order counter can probably carry you too, but you do have to watch out for Black Bolts with your Ultron. So just be on the lookout for that. Our best U7 team, no surprise here. It's Symbiotes. You could also throw Black Bolt and Yo-Yo in here. I mean, there's a whole bunch of conglomerates, but this is basically just auto U7 for the most part with this team. This team can pretty much run on basics alone. Not that there's an option in the game, but I do like that when you get down to 5 characters. I just don't even look and tap the screen. But I do like this team a lot. It gets me through U7 pretty easily. Can auto a lot of it too, and don't have to really worry about cooldowns too much on the early stages. So that's what I would recommend. Our best war defense is still Marauders. I actually have taken out Sabretooth at the suggestion of people during my streams and put Blob in there just because he applies Deflect. I do like him in there. But this is still your best war defense. It does a lot of, other than Black Bolt, or other than Black Order, and other than Sinister 6. Sinister 6 is a good defense team, but this is like that specific war defense team. And a good counter to this, I don't have a best war offense just because it depends on who you're going up against, but a good counter to this team is X-Force. This team, while I say it's the best war defense, it's not going to blow anyone over or going to really showstop anyone. But I just like to have this team on there if you're trying to get your war defense started and you have access to these guys. It's a great way to go, especially Marauders. You can use them in Arena too. Now, they're not going to be able to necessarily take on Black Order, but for those that are early stages that are willing to spend, this is a good way to go. Our DD3 starting team. So I originally had Phoenix on this DD3 starting team. But right now I have Anti-Venom, Symbiote Spider-Man, Ghost, Ebony Maw, and Minerva. Ghost, Ebony Maw, and Minerva, all on their ultimates, have health steal at 15%. Ghost actually has a 5-turn cooldown for that health steal, which is very nice. I think it's the quickest one in game. I think Ebony Maw is at 7, I believe, but I think Ebony Maw is at 7. I believe Minerva's at 7. And then Symbiote Spider-Man, he was made for Dark Dimensions, and I like Anti-Venom in there. You can throw in Carnage or Scream too. I would say Carnage or Anti-Venom though. I like Anti-Venom just in case, Spider-Man or Symbiote Spider-Man dies, and he also applies debuff immunity. So I like him over Carnage, but I think Carnage is valid too. So is Scream, but Scream's a little bit of the squishier, is one of the squishier symbiotes. So that's kind of why I like Anti-Venom in this spot. Yeah, and he can revive Symbiote Spider-Man. Our best DD3 global team. So this team has changed quite a lot. I feel like you will have a lot more an easier time in the global nodes with this team. My Cosmic and my City team, I'd had really no trouble, but my global took me a couple days without these last 3 characters. But what Ghost does is great in Dark Dimensions, and what she applies and gives to Yellowjack and stature is great as well. But Mr. Sinister and Emma Frost just work really well together. And Emma Frost watch her back, and Mr. Sinister heals her up. He also will be able to clone an opposing character. If there's an opposing Phoenix, that's also a great clone to get. But yeah, basically, the back 3 characters on the end were made for Dark Dimensions. The first 2 are just really great characters, and I think this is a good starting point. I will say I've taken Phoenix off of this team, and I've taken Phoenix off the best starter team just because you will need to revive her. Granted, we do actually have revives in this game, but you shouldn't be planning on using that necessarily. If you want to sub in Phoenix somewhere on here, I would say take Stature out or Yellow Jacket, but I would probably take Stature myself. I don't know what you guys think about that, but yeah, that's if you're planning on using Phoenix. Our best Cosmic team, this is the team that I used. I got through Cosmic in 5 days, I think, with this team, and I really didn't try too hard to reset if I lost a character that, I need, like if I lost my Minerva early on or something like that. I really didn't reset that much, so I think this is a solid team. If you look at the nodes, you can see that people have actually beaten like the whole nodes with just this team. So I think this is a great team to start off. You can make subs wherever you want, but I would say focus on this as much as you can. No surprise here with our best City Dark Dimensions 3 team, all the symbiotes. I will say I beat the City nodes in 3 days. I did not have Anti-Venom or Scream, but I had Ghost Rider and Doc Ock. And I will say the symbiotes carried a lot and Doc Ock carried a lot just because he can heal up my Ghost Rider. But that team really worked well for me if you're just looking for an alternative, just because that is a lot of alien spores to invest into them. I don't even have them up to Gear 14. But nonetheless, this is still your best City Dark Dimensions 3 team. Our best U6 team. Now, I'm going to change this up more month to month, just because based off characters that have recently come out or characters that have become farmable. Mr. Sinister is technically farmable in the War Store. It's kind of a pain. Emma Frost will have her orb, her milestone event coming soon, so if you don't have access to her, hopefully you will. Symbiote Spider-Man's in the milestone orb, so really not that farmable, but I will say a month back we had Scream and Anti-Venom come out. So if you do have Symbiote Spider-Man and you have these 2 characters but not Carnage or Venom, and then you have Mr. Sinister and Emma Frost, you can get through U6 pretty easily. I haven't done U6 in a while, but I sure as hell know that they can get through U6. So yeah, this is your best U6 team. Again, it's just whoever you need. You can still use BKT, which is best Kree team, which is Thanos, Minerva, Rocket, Groot, Star-Lord. That can get through U6. A lot of people know that, but I kind of want to give out. I want to change this up a little bit more and more each month, just so if you're a newer player, first day in, where to go kind of and what to look for. And then our best Dark Dimension 1 team, I dropped off the best Dark Dimensions 2 team just because you should be kind of building up characters for Dark Dimensions 3, and that will help you get through Dark Dimensions 2. But the reason why I have this in best Dark Dimensions 1 team is just because these will probably be one of the the quickest characters you'll get up to 6 stars, and that's with Dark Dimensions, with all of them, you just kind of want to get in with valid characters that aren't going to be a gear waste. Shield Trooper doesn't take any of those not newer, but any of the pieces that would require to get you to Gear 13 to Gear 14. He doesn't require any of those pieces. He does require orange gear, but a lot of people kind of regretted bringing him up but they used him just to get in. But you should use viable characters. And, you know, Guardians with Immorto, I think, is a very good start in Dark Dimensions 1. And if you invest a little bit of gear into them, not, you know, gear 13, gear 12 or anything like that, but just a good base, hopefully you can get into Dark Dimensions 1, get, you know, going on that as soon as possible. A lot of people are actually doing Dark Dimensions 2 before Dark Dimensions 1. But if you're interested in, you know, where to go with that, I would say this is probably a really good starter team. Again, if you have any of the other prior characters that I said for Dark Dimensions 2 or for Dark Dimensions 3, use them. I'm not going to do best for Dark Dimensions 4 yet, just because, you know, I'm not in it yet, so I'm not going to advise people on what to do with that, and it's too soon to do all that. But let me know if I should add more teams to this list. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know where you think I'm wrong. I want to know where you think I'm right. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. On this channel, I do guides, I do giveaways, I do orb openings, I do all sorts of Marvel Strike Force stuff, so make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.